Hello, welcome back to 1d8 plus 1, the Leonal Orbs. And football season is almost upon us, I think, for preseason. I believe preseason starts August 5th. It's like 3 days away. For some of the games, might be playing this week, type thing, in that type of sense. A lot of websites of the football teams have been reporting scrimmage games and full contact in pads. So, what I wanted to do today, type thing, was once again to start including the basics going on. Really did appreciate people commenting and talk. But I really haven't gotten any comments, but I've gotten some views on the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady mechanic, throw mechanics type thing. And for my website videos type thing, that type of sense, it was a fair amount type thing, that type of sense, instead of like 6 or 10. I believe the Brady Peyton Manning one has throw mechanics has gone up to um, about 30, 29, 31 views, probably about 29 views, and I posted that on July 20th type thing. So that's not bad. That is interesting. That people are finding that format helpful. Hopefully they are type thing. Definitely either like it or comment it or keep viewing it. That would be great. Um, it is more or less just an idea from somebody who just plays video games and looks at this stuff as a general opinion comment, not really a sports director or part of any sports team. But it was most of the stuff that I put online, taking that type of sense, is in association with when you're playing a video game and you're like, hey, I finally want to get into this type thing. Let me go look this up type thing, and it's like, yeah, we're playing like a nickel 245, nickel 335 type thing in that type of sense. Maybe a nickel 155 prowl type thing, and I'm uh, it's just like Kevin James type thing in that type of sense. Like with the answer machine or something like that. Just call me back type thing at 555 ABC 123. And it's got a lot of nomenclature to it type thing. Some of it overlaps, but a lot of it type thing has a certain simplicity to it type thing. But if it's joined in through variation type thing, none of those variations overlap, and they're not that useful for setting up a kind of an outline guide of the base type thing of how of the positions and what they're doing and what they're subbing in. And so, in that type of sense, I couldn't find anything about it. And after probably 2 to 5 years in Madden football type thing, that type of sense, and still don't play online, but and enjoying the game type thing, that type of sense. Uh, in understanding what the game is playing type thing, it did help to understand what the football formations were without so many other techniques and methods and practices. Um, I did win through Snickers. I voted my way through back in the day type thing. I don't think they do it this way anymore. Madden had with Snickers the horse trailer Monday Night Football MNF, and on Monday Night Football type thing used to do that commentary with ABC, or I think it was ESPN or NBC had it type thing. They sold back out to Sunday, and so with that in that type of sense, you had to pick who the MVP was going to be type thing in association with Snickers, and then if you did, you got entered into a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and I picked the game that I picked was the Eagles. Not only did I pick one of them, I picked all three who was going to be on the trailer that night, and it was a big three night type thing. Unfortunately, it was against the Rams, and in that type of sense, I'm not a Rams fan, but just an insane type thing. I don't think they would be stoked that that happens. But in that, from there, I picked that it was going to be McNabb at the time. He's playing with Philadelphia, and it was going to be their running back and their number one wide receiver, and it was going to take their trio just like Emmett with Aikman and Irvin to do their offense type thing. Sometimes Jason Witten or who are the Moose or somebody like that, but it was with their wide receiver, halfback, and quarterback type thing, truing up type thing, that type of sense, for all the offensive stats of their offense type thing. And that's what happened that night. It became so glorious that Madden couldn't choose, and he's like, what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna put all three on there. And I'm trying to think if Pat was still calling that with it. He's like, you're gonna do that? And he's like, you know what, I'm gonna break the rules here this week since it's my horse trailer, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna put all three up there. Yeah. And then he kept circling things and stuff like that. I guess I was at the game that night, and passed the trailer type thing, and all three were he stapled the photos on the top of that extension horse trailer that was in black with their photos type thing, and he put three of them up on that one, just the way I called it, and that's the way I entered it with Snickers type thing that week, and I won a trip to the Super Bowl. Took my mom. It was in Jacksonville. That was ironically, the Eagles versus the Patriots in that Super Bowl type thing, and I was near the Eagles end zone, about 5-10 rows back. So I have looked at football. I played Madden football since 1994. It was on Super Nintendo back then, and then it went to PlayStation, and then I went to Xbox type thing for different graphic Xbox Live update feel. I do enjoy football a lot. It is not the only sport that I watch. I do like baseball too. I like striking people out, and I still like hitting home runs, and I still like being from a Midwestern region type thing. I do like the single go-ahead run type thing when they score from seconds, when somebody hits a single type thing. And that's kind of exciting when it gets through the gap type thing, and then it's, game winner. And so that is exciting type thing, and a pull cue placement of that baseball type thing, and then get through and score the run. But I really like the strikeouts type thing in that type of sense. Baseball is crazy. It's got a crazy amount of people who won't agree with other people, and are pretty, sure about what way they're going to play, and then they release all their players type thing. And some other teams, like, we just ran into like draft choices or money type thing, that type of sense. We'll pick up all these players, and then they get this huge like upswing type thing, that type of sense. Then you see like Tampa Bay and the Nationals become contenders, and the Marlins once again becoming contenders, the Diamondbacks becoming contenders, Dodgers becoming contenders type thing, picking up Gonzalez, but Uribe, Skip Schumacher, and Clayton Kershaw type thing. That's just, that team is utilitarian type thing. Oh, and they picked up Cole Crawford. That team is just it's got issues. And in that type of sense, you've got Batista up there with the Toronto Blue Jays type thing, who aren't contenders this year type thing, but it's Jose Batista, and they'll probably end up picking up some bats in the offseason type thing, that type of sense, which they didn't need, because I know they've got something, Adrian Gonzalez, somebody who's Adrian Gonzalez related type thing. But I'm being divergent type thing. The Cardinals with their 3-4-5. We're in a 3-4-5 lineup type thing in this type of day and age type thing. The 3-4-5 for them is Matt Holliday, Carlos Beltran, and Yadier Molina. And that's pretty significant. Plus they're contenders that are hitting, like Matt Carpenter type thing, and Freeze, and just other choices. That team's kind of broke. They should be in first type thing. I kind of predicted they wouldn't be in first for long, because they've got some pitchers who are kind of like Bud Norris type thing, and they show up with like some extreme energy, but they were all 500 beforehand, or kind of reverted back to being 500 pitchers from time to time type thing, that type of sense. And that's what's been putting them back in second and third place type thing, is their pitchers becoming that, along with some cooler bats that they can't maintain that lead like that in that type of sense. But and they've got to listen to their own program and stuff like that. It makes it difficult. It makes it extremely difficult. Same in football type thing, that type of sense. The reason why you see the stay put of the A teams, but the rise of some of those B teams out there suddenly get an influence of a couple of people type thing, and you're like, where do these people come from type thing. And it's their whole matrix in a Neo sense type thing with Keanu Reeves kind of configured its way a little bit differently now, and that's why they're so dangerous, and seemingly out of nowhere. But that's exciting. So in this type thing, we're going to do our first video type thing in that type of sense. We've got pieces type thing here, and we've got numbers in that type of sense, and chess pieces. What I probably should do type thing in that type of sense is start with the chess pieces. These things are both the same. Chess pieces and your position of your pieces type thing from cornerbacks and linebackers and a defensive line are exactly the same. One thing of note type thing is this 1-2-3 formation type thing, like an I-beam type thing in that type of sense. We're going to turn the camera like that. Is in some type of things, in some ways type thing in that type of sense, the very base of the formation, somewhere out there on the field, there's going to be this I-beam in the structure type thing in that type of sense. You know, that's a very strange concept, but we'll get back to that. Right now we're going to start with the 3-4. I like the 3-4 type thing in that type of sense. I personally don't think the 3-4 is everything, but it just depends on the type of team that you have. In the 3-4 type thing in that type of sense, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pawns type thing, and 8 pawns to the opposite side, which is the black color and the white color type thing in that type of sense. Gonna bring those back. In the 3-4, you're making an I-beam type thing, but really the heroes, 1 knight, 2 knight, 3 knight, and 4 knight. The knights are the heroes in this, like a wolf pack type thing in that type of sense. And the knights in this system type thing are actually not with the 3 that are in there type thing in that type of sense. So we'll put these 3 out here type thing. That's the 1, that's the 2, and that's the 3. Those are 3 people type thing, but we had 4 knights here type thing in that type of sense. So in the first line type thing, we've got 3 people here, which is the first part of the nomenclature of a 3-4, and we've got 4 linebackers here type thing in that type of sense. And so we've got 4 linebackers here, and thus 3, and then the number 4, 3-4, or the 3-4 in that type of sense. Now, they don't name the secondary with the 3-4, they just focus on this trapezoid box type thing in that type of sense. And that's the 3-4-4 type thing in that type of sense. So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus another 4, 7 plus 4 is then 11 type thing for 11 total defenders. So in this one type thing, these people type thing here, the 4, 5, 6, and 7 of this formation type thing, become the outside linebackers type thing, who are going on that blitz type thing on the outside, and the inside, the middle linebackers like Patrick Willis and Navarro Bauman type thing on the inside, or Ray Lewis on the inside, who are kind of the gap fillers type thing. Those 4 knights become the hunters. There's the job of the I-beam in that type of sense to hold it in place and pinch it, close pin that thing, and let these guys, with their little bit more faster speed sometimes, and their mobility type thing, go on the hunt and go get the quarterback and running back there in that type of sense. And they get through these seams type thing in that type of sense as the I-beam closes that off type thing, and they'll rush that in that type of thing, creating wrong numbers for the offensive lineman to pick up type thing in that type of sense, and then they get through and they whap the quarterback type thing, or whap the running back type thing in that type of sense for negative yards. And they've got no choice but to just curl up into a little ball type thing in that type of sense, or risk even more explosion up type thing and cause a fumble. But that's the part of the 3-4. Now the nomenclature of the cornerbacks and the free safety and strong safety type thing in that type of sense are usually not mentioned in the 3-4 because these are the heroes of the 3-4 in that type of sense, which is the linebackers. So replacing these guys here back on the chessboard, we'll get some outside linebackers here, and in here type thing in that type of sense, this is, I always have to remember type thing in that type of sense, I believe it's from the defense's perspective, so that's the right side type thing in that type of sense. So this makes this the left side facing the quarterback and that type of thing. I think it's supposed to go with the quarterback's arm. So in that type of sense, I think it's the reverse. I think Justin Smith's the right hand type thing in that type of sense. But it actually goes with the quarterback's, it goes with the way the field perception is for the defense. So it's not with the quarterback's arm. So the actual, from them, they're a mirror image. So the right side is on the opposite side they would normally be on type thing. And that's the right outside linebacker, and that's the left outside linebacker. And then replace these type thing here, and that's the middle linebacker, and that's the second interior middle linebacker type thing in that type of sense, because there's 2 middle linebackers in a 3-4, in a 3-4 formation type thing, and they become the hunters type thing in that type of sense. Then you add up to 11, and then in the next video we'll talk about switching this around type thing and making a 4-3 type thing to add a little bit more geometric fortification type thing. So despite the middle linebackers type thing in that type of sense, we're not going to rely on the linebackers in the next form. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next video.